Ciao everybody and welcome back to my fun room. The other day I was looking at my guitars and I started wondering why so many of us end up buying copies of Fender Stratocaster. I think this is an interesting question, especially right now, because Fender wants to stop all those other brands from building guitars with the classic Strat body shape. Most people think it's just a way to save some money, but we all know that many premium copies made by brands like Suhr, Tom Anderson, PRS and many others actually cost much more than an original Fender. So it's interesting to figure out what the real reason is, because it's definitely not about the price. It turns out there's a completely different reason behind this choice, and today I want to show you what I found. But before we start, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. To really understand this situation, we should first look at my own 2006 Fender Stratocaster American Deluxe. From the outside, it looks like a normal Strat with a Fender logo on the headstock, but when you look closer, you find a humbucker at the bridge, noiseless pickups, a mini Floyd Rose bridge, a roller nut, locking tuners, and a compound radius neck. When this guitar was first introduced to the market, purists immediately wondered if this could be really considered a true Stratocaster. Yeah, because in this model, Fender changed almost everything that made the original 1954 model so iconic. And this makes you wonder what guitarists are supposed to do when they want that classic vintage tone, but they also need modern playability. Do you buy another Fender? Well, that's exactly my point when I started looking at other options. And this brings us to a bigger problem. Well, the truth is, traditional Fender specs can feel very limiting when you play live. All style necks and stiff tremolo bridges are just too hard to work with for modern music styles. So a few years ago, I wanted to see if I could find a solution outside of the Fender catalog, especially since my American Deluxe was a bit too modern to capture that true vintage vibe. That's how I ended up buying this Schecter Route 66 and installing a VegaTrem bridge on it. It's amazing how a completely different brand gave me the perfect mix of vintage tone and modern comfort. You might wonder why Fender doesn't just build these comfortable modern guitars for everyone. The answer is that Fender is actually trapped by its own history. The Stratocaster is a masterpiece from 70 years ago. And because it's so famous, the average guitar player expects Fender to keep it exactly the same forever. If Fender changes the guitar, the classic players get angry. So it's easy to see why they just change the name of their guitar every few years. They go from American Standard to Professional to Ultra, but in the end, the changes are very small. They cannot really modernize the Stratocaster because their name is tied to their past. So at the end of the day, I think we don't buy Strat copies because we don't like Fender. We buy them because our needs as guitarists changed, but Fender is not allowed to change with us. I would love to know if you also chose a copy for these reasons, or if you still prefer the classic Fender specs. Let me know everything in the comments below. And as always, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more gear talk. So have a great day, take care, and I'll see you very soon here on the Sonic Guitarist. Ciao, good vibes and LOVE!